Today is Monday, December 24th, 1979. The weather outside is frightful. Ha 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 ha. Just kidding. Merry Christmas. It is 46 degrees and a high chance of rain. Correction. Raining.
This just in. The Soviet Union has invaded Afghanistan in what appears to be another action of the Cold War.
The Soviet troops are attempting to take political and military control of Kabul and large portions of the country. They falsely claimed that they were invited into the country to help protect Afghanistan from an outside threat. But the president, who had been the leader prior to the invasion, was assassinated along with several members of his family. Now to our field reporter Lucas Montalto on the battlefield in Afghanistan.
Currently standing in the center of Kabul, witnessing the Soviets raid Afghanistan. There are thousands of Soviet troops taking over extensive parts of the country. This appears to be a start of a long-lasting war. So far, the U.S. has been unresponsive to these events, but we are expecting Jimmy Carter soon.
Several days later.
Happy New Year! Today is January 2nd, 1980. Happy New Year, everybody. The opinion we've all been awaiting. Here's Jimmy Carter's response to the current events in Afghanistan.
I come to you this evening to discuss the extremely important and rapidly changing circumstances in Southwest Asia. I continue to share with all of you the sense of outrage and impatience because of the kidnapping of innocent American hostages and the holding of them by militant terrorists with the support and the approval of Iranian officials. Our purposes continue to be the protection of the long-range interest of our nation and the safety of the American hostages. We are attempting to secure the release of the Americans through the International Court of Justice, through the United Nations, and through public and private diplomatic efforts. We are determined to achieve this goal. We hope to do so without bloodshed and without any further danger to the lives of our 50 fellow Americans. In these efforts, we continue to have the strong support of the world community. The unity and the common sense of the American people under such trying circumstances are essential to the success of our efforts. Recently, there has been another very serious development which threatens the maintenance of the peace in Southwest Asia. Massive Soviet military forces have invaded the small, non-aligned, sovereign nation of Afghanistan, which had hitherto not been an occupied satellite of the Soviet Union. 50,000 heavily armed Soviet troops have crossed the border and are now dispersed throughout Afghanistan, attempting to conquer the fiercely independent Muslim people of that country. The Soviets claim, falsely, that they were invited into Afghanistan to help protect that country from some unnamed outside threat. But the president, who had been the leader of Afghanistan before the Soviet invasion, was assassinated, along with several members of his family, after the Soviets gained control of the capital city of Kabul. Only several days later was a new puppet leader even brought into Afghanistan by the Soviets. This invasion
is an extremely serious threat to peace because of the threat of further Soviet expansion into neighboring countries in Southwest Asia. Also, such an aggressive military policy is unsettling to other people throughout the world. This violates the rules of the United Nations. The strategic importance of Afghanistan to stability and peace. A Soviet-occupied Afghanistan threatens both Iran and Pakistan and is a stepping stone to possible control over much of the world's oil supplies. The United States wants all of the region to be free and independent. If the Soviets are encouraged in this invasion by eventual success and they maintain their dominance over Afghanistan and then extend their control to adjacent countries, the stable, strategic, and peaceful balance of the entire world will be changed. This will threaten the security of all nations.
Some long-term effects of the invasion of Afghanistan was that several million Afghans fled to other countries for refuge. During the invasion, millions died from starvation, bombings, and raids. Tons of homes were destroyed from numerous attacks. Things like landmines continued to threaten people throughout the region. The USSR lost billions of dollars from the invasion, and it destroyed their image to everyone around the world. And now to Luca with the negative effects of this invasion.
An estimated 1 million civilians were killed in this invasion, as well as 90,000 Mujahideen fighters and 18,000 Afghan troops. The country was left in ruins. Several million Afghans had either fled to Pakistan for refuge or become internal refugees. Now to Haley on the U.S.-Soviet relations.
In an extremely heartfelt reaction to the 1979 Soviet military invasion into Afghanistan, President Jimmy Carter requests that the Senate postpones its actions on the nuclear weapons treaty and recalls the U.S. ambassador to the Soviet Union.
These uprising actions have made an indication that the U.S.-Soviet relationship has been severely damaged by the Russian action in Afghanistan and the establishment by the Soviets of a puppet government in that nation has brought U.S. relations with Soviet Union to its breaking point.
Okay. Thanks for watching. That's the news for tonight.
Peace
out,
Librarians. Starring Brennan O'Halloran, Campbell Stein, Haley Gengler, Lucas Montalto, and Luca Giammarino.